Okay, so for our lesson, we chose seasons. So we titled this, What Do You Know About the Four Seasons of the Year? So here are objectives. So the objectives for this lesson is to learn the four seasons of the year. Students are going to share um, personal information so they can share their background info, they can share what they do with their family so they can tie in some of their interests. Students will also be able to identify the seasons. They're going to be able to identify the months that these seasons are in, as well as be able to observe and analyze weather changes in the seasons and understand how Earth rotation also affects the seasons and the weather. Some of our teacher notes. So this lesson is going to be for elementary. We were thinking second grade. It kind of was in line with Colorado standards. So this lesson really touches on weather and the changing seasons. We are going to ask students about weather in the seasons, ask them things like how they'll know organisms in the environment are influenced by different weather patterns, and then talking about the appropriate tools of measure. And yeah, so that's some of the background info on our presentation. All right.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Well, we're going to start our lesson plan with an icebreaker. We have an activity that, click start, Nikki. We're going to show them, well, they're going to have to match the pictures with the season. Yeah.
So yeah, for instance, there's fall.
Yeah.
Let me quickly do these. And then once they get through, check their matches.
And the dragons fly away.
And yeah, we can see if we got them all right. So students can kind of check their prior understanding and see what kind of background knowledge we have. Let's hit reset.
So another activity, this one is for sorting. This template, they're gonna sort the images or the pictures and put them in the season they belongs. And they can do it, this activity, they can do it in groups or individually. Yes, here.
Yep. So students can, there's some of them that maybe students can be like, oh, which one does this one go in? And then they can talk with a partner and be like, oh, I think this one goes in this one. I think this one goes over here. They can kind of debate.
They can also speak about the picture that they are sorting or they are choosing, to make the connection with the season and what they are acknowledging. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For winter, what do you do? Where it's lighting there. It's like everything is white. For what, I don't know what is that.
It's
Like
a little squirrel.
a tree edge. Oh, squirrel. That's going springs.
Yeah, that's springs when all the animals come out.
Okay.
So, and then we'll move on to, we have a video. So this is going to be a short YouTube video about, this one really talks about the science of the seasons. It's going to talk about how the Earth orbits around the sun and how this has an impact on the seasons, and how this really introduces when, or how we're going to talk about later on in the lesson about different, about the changing, like the longer daylight and the shorter daylight hours. And so
And why the temperatures change also.
Yeah, so this really gives kind of students a snapshot of how the Earth is on an axis, how it rotates, and gives them kind of keywords, which we're going to touch on in the, we have a quick check for understanding after this video. And so it'll ask students how the sun orbits. And so it's going to touch on keywords like orbit and on its axis. So it talks about the line that it's showing on the Earth. It talks about the axis. And so after we leave this video, which this video is about 3.5 minutes long, so not too bad. But it really keeps it simple for students so that they can start to understand and get a grasp on the space and weather and how the sun affects everything. Let me pause that, return to this. All right. So then after that video is when we go to our check for understanding. So this is going to be through a program called Hello Smart. So students are going to go to hellosmart.com. They're going to type in this code. And then after that, they'll be shown these questions. So the Earth orbits around the sun. Then they can click on the correct answer. Then they'll go to the next question. And you'll see here, as students are answering, you'll see if everybody has answered, if you're still waiting on a few people. So you can give everybody enough time to answer. Then our second question, the Earth rotates on its axis. Again, you'll be able to see when students answer, and then you'll be able to end the activity. You can overview all of the results. Right now, we don't have anybody in here, so there is no results. So we can end it and move on. All right, and then after we do that, we are going to get into kind of our content. So just explaining some little facts, little fun sayings like April showers bring May flowers. That's always something fun and easy to remember. Spring is usually when it's rainier. And then we talk about daylight savings, give them a nice little quick, easy way to remember that spring means we spring forward. So our clocks, we have to move them forward an hour. And yeah, just little easy things for students to remember. And then we move on to summer.
Okay, summer is the second season that we go in, and it's the same. I'm gonna be talking. They're gonna be learning about the changing in daylight, the hours, and the temperature. We're gonna watch a video explaining summer. Let's see.
And then this video, let's see, there we go. I'll click into it for you a bit and you can explain it. But yeah, it's a really cute book. And it's a nice read along because it also gives the students a chance to look at the pages as they read along and watch. So that is.
And include the activities that we can do outdoors. For example, in summer we go to water parks or we play out the outdoors. We go to the park.
Yes, so then
And we play with sand.
after that video, there we go.
We're going to use the template to answer the questions about the video they just saw. And they can, what I like about this template is that they can write their answer. We can work together at the same time Can you give an example, Miss Nikki, please?
Yeah,
With the
so
pen, yeah, like, yeah, they're gonna use the pen right there, and they
it
can
says
write
students can
or
go up to the
draw.
board and they can say, how is the weather in the summer? You can work on handwriting because this template gives you the nice dotted line. So they can really work on making sure that their handwriting is good and keep it in line. But yeah, so this
And they
lets
can,
you write on it, erase it.
and the next question is for them to share any activities, yeah, or any experiences, I'm sorry, um, they had during summer or vacation or school break.
Right, and students like to share out their experiences and the things that they like to do. So this is a good chance for students to get a chance to share about them and helps engage them. Next, we get back into our content. Here's some more info about fall and autumn. We include some more little easy tools to remember, like daylight savings again, because in fall we fall back, so we go back an hour. So an easy way to remember that is fall back. We fall back and fall. And then also just touch on that fall is you can bring in more discussion about how fall is when all of our crops are harvested, talk about food. Um, so yeah, and then moves on into winter.
And for our last season is winter. We have an activity, how to create a like a snowman. It's a fun activity um, to do. And well, okay, I believe that it's really enjoyable and keep the students engaged in the lesson.
Yeah, and this is a just a nice little kind of break in the middle of the lesson so that
Uh,
they can kind of just loosen up a bit, take a little break.
The three,
Um,
yeah,
oh yeah, and all
yeah.
our little buttons. Still don't want to cover them up. But yeah, this is nice because then this is kind of towards the end of our lesson. And so right before we wrap it up, um, we are also going to bring the whole class together as a group and fill out this Venn diagram. And so you can talk about kind of begin your lesson with talking about like what the components of a Venn diagram are, how we're going to talk like this is going to be the fall, this is going to be winter, and the stuff in the middle is their similarities. And so then you can start filling it out. You can have debates like through the class, talk about,
You can even divide the groups into fall and winter. A
yeah,
group
yeah,
is fall, a group is winters, and they can debate and exchange opinion, like the similarities and the
yeah, yeah.
differences. That would be nice. And then they can write in their 1 point for fall, 1 point for winter. So it will be a good activity for the classroom.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I guess I mean if a teacher did want to make this like individual, then it could be, but this is kind of meant to be a group thing so that teachers could like write in as they go, like da 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 da. So that would be
Yeah.
really cool. And then this is where we end out our lesson. Um, This is where students are just going to take just a normal piece of paper, fold it 4 ways, open it back up, and it's going to have 4 little quadrants. And they can show um, activities that they like to do in all 4 of them and make them very distinctly each season. So each box needs to look very summer, very spring, very fall, very winter. And then this gives students a chance to really show what they know. You can make this also kind of an extension and you can have them label stuff, write some sentences about their pictures. So you can kind of extend it or kind of cut it down to whatever each student is comfortable with. And then that brings them to the end. They made it.
Yep. Yep.
And
So this is a good way to tell them that keep up the good work and continue, like learning and working hard to, to meet their goals.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yep.
A little support from the teachers.
Yep. And
Supposed to
that,
be clapping.
yes.
What happened?
Yep.
Yes.
And
So
that's it.
thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.